have big breaking updates coming in of Iran rejecting Trump's claim that Iran wanted talks with the United States. So Iran has not requested talks with the United States to bring an end to the widening war. That's what Iran's ambassador to Egypt has told media, denying the comments by the US president that the country wants to talk. Now, you remember there were two different versions that had come in. First, of course, we also had claims coming in from the US that they're not willing to talk. Joining us on the broadcast, senior consulting editor Srinjoy Chaudhary. So, Srinjoy, first you had Trump, who went on to claim that I don't want to speak to them. Then he said that Iran wants to talk and he is willing to speak. But now you have the Iran message, and Iran says we don't trust Trump.
Lots of conflicting statements. First, President Trump said that they are tough and they want to fight. He also said separately that they want to talk, but he wants to fight. Now the Iranians are saying that there is no question of having talks with the Americans. So it's all very confusing. We don't know who wants to talk with whom and who doesn't want to talk with whom. Meanwhile, while all this talk about talks are going on, the fighting continues. And it's 7 days of fighting. And naturally, a war at this level, it can be very damaging and can be very disruptive. And quite naturally, you have seen the Americans striking their targets in Iran, Iran hitting back, hitting not just Israel, not just American bases, but a variety of countries in the Gulf and outside. So it's all very confusing now and extremely disruptive 1 week.
Okay, all right. We also have Pathikrit Pain on the broadcast with us. How do you see this proceeding? Because now Trump has also said that he wants a role, or the United States wants a role in also deciding who the next supreme leader of Iran is going to be.
Well, Trump says a lot of things. The question is which one to take seriously and which one not to. Because if you look at it, he's saying that Iranian Navy is gone, Iranian Air Force is gone. It's like, just like as if it's not even a war, they can win anytime. The question is, if it is so, there's no comparison. I don't deny the fact that the Americans are far more powerful. The question is, if it is so, then why are they sending in additional aircraft carriers? Number one. Number two, if it is so, then why is it that Trump is saying this war is going to go on for a long time? So I think this is the same problem the Americans always had, underestimating the adversary. They did it in Vietnam. They did it in Afghanistan. They even did it in Syria and Libya. In Libya, after the change of regime in 2011, till date, they haven't been able to bring peace or have a succession in place to create a normal country. So, the war has not even started, because if the Americans think that the regime is going to change like this is not going to work that way. If they're going to put boots on ground, which is unlikely, it's a very mountainous, rugged terrain that Iran has. It has huge strategic depth. It's just not a small country. They have a distributed architecture when it comes to these gigafactories to manufacture, churn out hundreds of thousands of drones and missiles, and that's exactly what they're doing. I have no sympathy for the Iranian regime. We know what it is. But the problem with the Americans is that they're creating a mess, and then they will exit the place, leaving everyone else into a disarray. There's a severe shortage of interceptor missiles that most of the Arab states are facing. They're saying that they're intercepting everything, and how is it that the drones are targeting and have been successful in hitting the critical energy infrastructure of Saudi Arab? If you look at the distance from Iran to Saudi Arab, it's not a matter of joke. It's a huge distance. Israel doesn't have strategic depth. It doesn't have. So it's a small country with a huge concentration of buildings. The same with Dubai, the same with Abu Dhabi, the same with Qatar. And Iranians are actually having a nice time in hitting whatever they feel like. So there's a problem with these drones, which are not being identified by the air defense system, because they find it confusing whether it's a bird or something else. And you imagine a $20,000 drone vis-a-vis an air defense system costing per missile $3 to $4 million. Look at the expenditure involved. Now they're playing another mind game with the oil thing. India's import of Russian oil for the month of February was 30%. And they are as if the Americans are giving us a permission to take oil. This is the mind game they keep on playing, because then if you had to impose sanctions on the Russian oil, first of all, there is no sanction on Russian oil. There's sanction only on 2 companies. Now you've created a mess in Middle East.
Yes.
How would the world economy move ahead? Where would people take oil from?
Yes.
So there is a problem with the American leadership today. They absolutely seem to be clueless.
And, you know, the rules-based order or the international charter, all of it has been thrown out of the window, but it's been a few months of that happening ever since Trump has taken over, and there's not much that the world has also been able to do. To stay with us, we have more breaking updates now coming in from the United States, as Trump has now issued a warning to Iran, telling the Iran forces to surrender. So telling Iran, lay down arms or face certain death. That's the warning that has come in from Trump. He goes on to say there is immunity for surrender. That's what he seems to be suggesting, urging Iranians to rise, saying, take back your country. But Colonel Rathod, is it also a very clear indication that things didn't go as planned for the United States? Before I come to you, let's listen into what Trump has said.
I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military and the police, to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death. And I don't want to see that. They don't want to see it either. We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential, a much better future for Iran.
So, Colonel Rathod, is this Trump's admission that we've gotten to a mess and we don't really know how to come out of it?
See, what Donald Trump is aiming at is the finishing of the entire war and conflict now. And these are what he's saying is, this is always said in the final phases of war, to finish the war. And this, unfortunately, he has said in the beginning of the war. They were banking very heavily on Iranian people's uprising, that the moment the first shot will be fired, the Iranian people will erupt in agitation and the streets will be filled with the demonstrators, which did not happen. And that is why this is slightly going wrong. It is the brute force of the America which is actually reigning supreme on the Iran. Otherwise, there is no popular sentiment which is supporting this war. And to make the matter worse, in the opening shot, they killed Ayatollah Khamenei.
Okay.
So that is also 7 days mourning. Mind you, his body has not been buried as yet. So they are very sentimental people.
Yes.
So entire thing they have put behind their all woes and the legal rights and democratic rights, and they are now seem to be rallying behind the present regime. There is one more thing I would like to say. Trump says that he wants a say in choosing the supreme leader. The problem in Iran is the appointment of supreme leader. Any wise person would say that separate the governance from the supreme leader. That should have been. But he wants to continue with the supreme leader appointment. The supreme leader and all the powers vested with him is the major problem of the Irani government and Irani problems. This should have been that leader, it is religious department or religious affairs separate, and governance is separate, vested in the hands of president.
Okay, and that's clearly not the case. But we have more breaking updates now coming in. Now, after Iran, is it going to be Cuba next on Trump's list? Because the US president has now also signaled a possible Cuba move, believe it or not. He has said that Havana wants that badly, and he said it's only a matter of time. Listen in to what he said. He has spoken about celebrations over Cuba soon.
What's happening with Cuba is amazing, and we think that we want to finish this one first, but that will be just a question of time before you and a lot of unbelievable people are going to be going back to Cuba. Hopefully not to stay. We want you back, and we don't want to lose you. We don't want to make it so nice that they stay. But some people probably do want to stay. They love Cuba so much. I hear it all the time. That was another one that wasn't supposed to happen. I wanted to wait a couple of weeks, but we'll be together again soon, I suspect, celebrating what's going on in Cuba. They want to make a deal so badly, you have no idea.
They want to make a deal badly. That's a claim that Trump has made, indication of what could come in next. But he did say that we're going to finish this one first and only then move into our next target. I'm requesting guests to stay with us. We're slipping into a very short break here. We'll be right back.